A large percentage of real estate investors are what's known as a retail real estate investor. In this video, we're going to compare notes versus retail real estate. So first of all, what is retailing? Well, essentially it's three steps. Acquire a property at a discount, renovate the property, and then simply turn around and sell that property, typically to a consumer at the full retail price. Very simple concept. Buy low, sell high. And of course, you have to understand how to project what the renovation costs are going to be. And we talk in terms of after repaired value. But when you boil it all down, this is it. Acquire the property at a discount, renovate it, resell it to a consumer at a full retail price. So what's the difference then between buying non-performing notes and retailing? Well, quite frankly, there are a lot of similarities between the two. The biggest difference and the major reason for acquiring real estate today through non-performing notes is because of item number one. To make money in retailing, you have to buy at a discount. And discounted property has everything to do with inventory levels as well as pricing. So the inventory drives the pricing. Here's the deal. There's over 10 times the amount of non-performing notes as there are discounted property through the traditional sources. And that's why the pricing is so much better. Everything else, renovating the property, reselling to a consumer, that's all consistent, right? What a lot of note investors do is they buy real estate today through acquiring the note first. Why? Substantial discounts. And that's what changes the whole game. Here's what I mean by that. Inventory and pricing for the traditional real estate investor, they go through traditional sources. And that's your foreclosure sales. Some people call them REO sales. You've got short sales, which have all but disappeared today. And then working with consumers who are motivated sellers. Okay, those are the traditional sources. The problem is the supply of those has dwindled to almost historic lows right now. And that's why investors who are acquiring real estate through these methodologies are paying anywhere from 65 to 80% of the as-is value. It's very difficult, very challenging to make a profit when you have margins that are that thin, because don't forget, you have to fix this property up and resell it. That's difficult to do when you're buying upwards of 80%. Now, again, all real estate's local, and some people listening to this might be going, well, in my area, I can do this, that, and the other. I get that. On a national basis, that is not the case. And if that's what your local area is right now, do not expect it to stay that way. Do not expect it to stay that way. Property values have increased. You've got less construction going on, and there is absolutely a tightening in inventory. You can look at sources all day long that will indicate that for you. So where's a better place to go to buy real estate at a deeper discount? Well, that's where the note business comes into place, because note investors use different sources. Their sources are note investment companies. This video series will explain to you where the trickle down is, how these assets are acquired by huge hedge funds, and the hedge funds cut off the assets that they don't want, and they get those down to smaller companies. But because there's so much inventory, hundreds of billions of dollars worth of these assets, the prices are extremely low. And I'll show you that in just a second here. But we also today can deal with motivated note owners. And these note owners many times become note sellers. So we have two different sources here as note investors that we can tap into. And here's the deal. We're only paying about 30 to 55% of the as-is value. Now, we're acquiring the note first, so we're buying the note, but on a non-performing note, guess what? We're going to end up with the property over 60 or 70% of the time. And by the way, we can make that 100% of the time if we know how to filter through the notes and look for, of course, vacant properties. And this video series will go into great detail in showing you exactly how to do that. So it's very simple. The retailing process is the same on both sides. It's just, how do you acquire the property and what price do you pay? If you want to acquire a property to retail, the best way you can do it today is by buying the note first, because after all, who would you rather be? A note investor who's paying about 30 to 55% of the as-is value for the property versus a traditional real estate investor who's paying 65 to 80% of the as-is value. Pretty simple question, pretty easy answer. That's what this video series will show you to do in great detail.